You ready? 3,
Yes.
2, 1, go. Watch very closely now. 3, 2, 1. Bzow! Check that out.
We want the funk. Gotta have that funk.
Is it okay if it's okay if like when the bread touches the fries?
Do I really want to just stand still and cast a lightning bolt? No, I want to avoid you and shove a lightning bolt across.
I just crapped my alien pants. By the way, I just want to let you guys know.
You hate all of us, and we're fired.
I've released poison into the AC system. You all have about 5 minutes left to live.
So much news, like all this stuff to talk about.
No, there's been some stuff, but it was all boring.
You didn't go with C.
Well, you need to go with C.
And our friends, we combined.
You've told that story.
We combined. Have I told it on the podcast?
I'm pretty sure
you have.
At
Well,
least
I'm
twice.
telling it again.
Because I just realized as I was reading this that this game's already been done. They even made a show about it. It's called Yu-Gi-Oh! And go watch it.
This is Boards and Swords.
Welcome to Boards and Swords, everyone. This is the show where we talk. It's bad jokes, good folks, and some gaming in there as well. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Chris Renshaw, and on the other side of this Discord call, it's Mr. Phil Herbig.
What's going on, everybody?
Why is the music playing again?
Because I'm trying to move it from where it is.
Thank you. Lance is in the chat room, MU Jedi, and says, nice intro. So, hey, welcome to the show. This is, it's time for us to do our thing again. It's Father's Day. Sorry, I my mouth just started talking and realized it's like, what am I doing here? It's Father's Day. Hope everybody called their dad and said Happy Father's Day, assuming your father's still alive. Because who knows? Now that just got really depressing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, good job. Great. All right,
Yeah.
and that's been our show, everybody. Have a
All
good night.
right. You know what we could do to make this better? Let's just head over to some news.
We'll just dive right in to the news.
Well, given all the FFG news I had last week, I was a bit nebulous about including this one, and that is Nebula is coming to Marvel Champions. I gave you a pause in there.
I didn't know which button to hit.
Marvel Champions?
Huh? Oh, that one. Yeah.
Marvel Champions? What? Yeah. So, yeah, Nebula is going to be the next hero. Well, not the next, but like the next in the announced ones that's come out for Marvel Champions, the card game. This is going to be pretty cool. So I haven't played with the Gamora pack yet, but the Nebula one is going to be very similar in that. So the Nebula pack has Gamora as both the nemesis and an ally.
Okay.
So it's an ally in your deck, but if let's see, I'm scroll down here. Yeah. So if it's an ally in your deck, but if for whatever reason you draw the card that makes you put out the minion version of Gamora, the nemesis one, you have to discard the ally version.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, when this minion would enter play, discard the Gamora ally from play. And it's the same way in the Gamora deck. Nebula is both an ally and the nemesis. So
Okay.
I love the weird ways that they do this in the game. So it looks like so Nebula's going to be a justice deck, so it's all about mitigating threat on the villain schemes. So her ability, so she's going to have a bunch of like technique cards, it looks like. So a bunch of like upgrades and cybernetic upgrades. And you can resolve special abilities and then discard them. I was hoping to see some of those specific upgrades, but I'm not seeing them. They're not in this announcement post, at least here. They might have been in the live stream or something where they announced it.
There's something ding persistence and maneuvering.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I got for you.
Yeah. Seeing the cards in the back there. Yeah. So yeah, if you go, we're still kind of going through that kind of Guardians of the Galaxy phase where we had Star-Lord and Gamora and Drax just came out. So I actually have here. I just got the Drax pack on Friday. And then so there's now Venom as well because it's the Agent Venom version. which I guess there was a story in the comics where Venom was part of the Guardians. And then,
does Drax have any ability dealing with invisibility?
I don't know. I haven't opened it up yet. That would be funny though.
Don't move your character at all.
Nothing goes over my head, because if it did, I would catch it. So there you go. There was one little FFG thing in there. For the next one, I know Colin and Cindy loved this game, but I would only play it if it got a massive facelift. But then would it be a New Orleans? And that Orleans, the bag building game that's been around, I want to say it's since 2014, is now been acquired. The license to publish has been acquired by Capstone. It was previously owned by Tasty Minstrel Games, but apparently that company has been kind of going downhill. There's been a lot of kind of scuttlebutt going around that they are having financial issues. So Capstone swooped in and bought the license out to publish Orleans, or Orleans, I guess is how it's supposed to be.
English language edition.
Yes. Because this is a French game?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to say, yeah. So I have never played this. Again, it's one of those games Colin and Cindy would love. And in fact, there's even they hate it. Behind the scenes, they hated this, but there was the moment where I don't think Philip was on for this episode, but they were reviewing an expansion for it. And immediately after they finished reviewing it, I went on a rant talking about how terrible I thought the artwork looked.
Oh,
because as a reason why I've never played it, because it just looked horrible. And they were like, we just finished reviewing this, and we're going to be sending this episode to the people that's the publisher, and you just immediately after trash the game.
I mean, we can cut that out.
I think that's what Colin did, because he was editing the show at that point, so I think he did end up cutting it. And I think that was one of the first things we did. One of the first bonus contents, because I always have the original files.
Oh yeah.
So I posted the original to our to our patrons. Haha, gotcha. So since we talked a lot about FFG stuff last time, I figured I'd throw people a bone. But if you're wondering, man, they're not really talking about it that much, that's because we don't play these kinds of games.
No, not really.
And especially when you have two shows back to back by a week, sometimes it's hard to come up with a whole bunch of newsworthy stuff.
Not a lot going on behind this door.
Yeah. So the next one we got is I'm glad this next game has kids in the name, because if it was an adult game, the name Quest for the Moonstones would have a completely different understanding.
Got him!
Lucky Duck Games announces Kids Chronicles Quest for the Moonstones. It's the first game in their Lucky Duck Kids line. I know we have a bunch of people with small ones in that listen to the show, and so it's going to be in release in Q4. Doesn't say what year, but I'm going to assume they mean this year. Oh, it's a cooperative game by the same people that designed Chronicles of Crime, which is Philip, were you there at the time that we played the game where you had to scan, all the cards had QR codes? We played it one time at Chris and Sandy's house, but I don't know if you were there.
No, because I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's a game with a bunch of QR codes, and there's a murder you have to solve, and to question people, you use your phone and scan the QR code for that person, and you can ask them questions. So if you want to ask them about this shoe you found, there'll be a card with a shoe on it and a QR code, and you scan that and then scan the person, and it knows that you're trying to ask them about the shoe.
And then you ask them, who throws a shoe?
Yeah,
honestly.
Exactly. But then also there's a VR aspect in that when you get to the crime scene, you hold up the phone in front of your face, and you can look around the crime scene in a 3D sense.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, if you had a viewer, you could put it in a Google Glass or something if you want it, or the Google Cardboard viewer thing, for instance.
Yeah.
And look around, and then you call out things, and people pull the cards for the different objects and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So this is by so it almost, as I'm reading through this, it seems like a kid-ish version of this, because it says this game again combines a board game and a digital app to navigate players through an investigation. Players take on the roles of magicians' apprentices and go on a quest to find 4 moonstones in the fairy tale lands of the Kingdom of Summer and the Winter Empire. So that sounds really neat, especially if you've got Kids Chronicles, Chronicles of Crime. Okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
So if you were ever interested in it, be like, that's too much for my kids. Now you've got something else to try.
And they use the moonstones to evolve their Clefairies.
Wow. Or their Jigglypuffs.
Jigglypuff didn't use a moonstone.
Pretty sure it did. Hold on. Got to find this out now.
Yeah.
All right. Aha! Evolves into Wigglytuff when exposed to a moonstone.
What the hell?
Haha! Gotcha. Moving on. For this next one, you'll need to clean off your cookware for it, because it's Forests of Pangaia. This was a neat Kickstarter I found on there. So it's funded by a company they're one of it's Pangaia Games, where their big deal is trying to make products out of sustainable resources. But it's just another one of those. I don't know too much about the game, other than it just looks really cool. Like, it's got these like wooden trees that you have like a little base for the trunk and the roots, and then you put these little wooden cones on it to make the tree to show the tree growing. Already funded.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. Yeah.
23,000 was its goal. It's at 155,000 as of this, with 25 days left to go. Before the dawn of time, Gaia, the primal goddess of our world, created the first trees. They slowly spread over the continent of Pangaia and cherished her with timeless rituals. Since then, an abundant force has been flowing through their roots, bringing life to the highest heights and deepest highest heights and deepest depths. So it's 2 to 4 players. Let's see. Can we get an overview of how it plays? So basically, your goal is to try and grow trees across the vast continent. When I first saw this, it kind of reminded me, there's a game called Photosynthesis that's like this, where you're trying to grow trees, but the sun kind of moves around the board and other trees could shade.
Could block you, yeah.
Yeah, I think Corey has it, maybe. Or Mike or Corey have it. One of those. Yeah, so you start and by like, oh, do I have any trees that are growing? And then do you expand? And looks really sweet. I don't know if I'd play it. I'd have to try it out. But the components-wise looks pretty cool. So if you're looking for the link, it's in the show notes. Let's see, how much does it take to play? It is $60. That's not bad. For what I'm seeing here, that's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
So... Oh, that's for the base game. For the premium edition, it's $66, which isn't also not that bad. And you get 80 additional wooden tokens for resource and life tokens. So there you go. And then finally, Philip, you had told me about it, so I knew I had to bring it in there. And I just want to say that did you know that if I were a baseball player, I'd be Babe Ruth? Because when it comes to this next story, I called it! I believe it was last week when I said, oh, hey, I bet with the new Power Rangers thing, they go with the new Hasbro stuff. And here it is. Here it is. Renegade Game Studios announcing that the new Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid Kickstarter, which is going to be Rangers United. It talks about, like, okay, Omega Red, okay, Omega Black, blah, blah, blah. Beast Morphers Red, Beast Morphers Blue, and Beast Morphers Yellow, which is literally last year's Power Rangers.
Yep.
And then the monsters, yeah, and even Blaze and Roxy. I've not seen Beast Morphers other than, like, the first episode. But I do know that Blaze and Roxy are from that series. And then there's somebody called Dark Honda. And new rules.
Somebody card Darkonda?
Huh?
Somebody?
What do you not? Am I? What am I?
That's the big bad from In Space.
Oh, no, I thought that was Astromina.
That's right, it was Astronema. She was the big bad. But Darkonda was hang on, because I see his face there. Hang on. Where was Darkonda?
And apparently, there's a new rule set for triple threat bosses, which would explain why there's three monsters in this. The Violet Solar Ranger. What is that?
Solar Ranger is part of the comics.
Ah, okay.
It's after yeah, oh that's right. Yeah, Darkonda is he's not the big bad, but he's one of the like
lieutenants
directly under Astronema, yeah.
Gotcha. Although I did see when when I was looking into this, I've got a link in here that goes to a Facebook group where they're talking about it.
I'm part of
so it looks like it's actually going to come to Kickstarter 2 days after this launches, or after this episode, so we'll know more about it next time. But I was seeing when they were doing a bunch of announcements and stuff on here, I was flipping through, so I was hoping maybe you had paid more attention to it. I saw there was one of the villain packs was going to have like Zeltrax and what's his name? Mesagog from Dino Thunder.
That's right. And so hang on. So since we're on a little Power Rangers kick here, guess what came in the mail last week?
Oh, that's right.
The Kickstarter back. Let me go grab it.
This is the Psycho Rangers one. Oh, and he's gone.
Yeah, so I've got it. Yeah,
this is the box. This is the Psycho Rangers Kickstarter.
Oh no, that's two Kickstarters ago.
Oh, what was this one?
So this is the one that included a painted copy of the Megazord, Megazord model. Yeah. The main thing with this was it was called Legendary Rangers Forever Rangers. So the ones who took over as red, yellow, pink, and black.
Right, that's right. I remember now. It was like Rocky and
Adam, Rocky, Aisha, and Kat. And then it also came with the Squat and Babu character pack. Which character pack? Hang on. Play it? No. Okay, they have gray models. Yeah, so they're bad guys. And then it also came with the villain pack number 3, Legacy of Evil. So we've got Piranha's Head, King Sphinx, Thrax, Terratoad, and Divatox.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I'm fairly certain. Okay, yeah. So Divatox is going to be. She better be a boss. Who is that? Oh, that's Thrax. Thrax is a boss as well. Yeah. So that's all the new stuff. I really gotta it is all in storage.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it takes up so much space. But I do need to get out and put because they sent us an extra box for all the cards and everything to organize. I really just need to grab it all and organize it and make it make more sense. And probably try to find a way to make it easier to deploy to play.
So
they also sent out a scenario book.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is the fan appreciation kit. So there's 2 Megazord cards. It's got the Ultrazord and Titanus.
Nice.
Scenario book, Megazord tokens with so if I'm looking at this right, I've got Zeo, Ultra, Tigerzord. Looks like the Turbo Megazord. Bunch of oh no, that's Thunder Megazord. Excuse me. SPD Megazord. Oh, that's the SPD base.
Oh, the base Megazord?
Yeah, but just the token.
Mm.
Yeah. And then it's got a bunch of like divider cards, for like the big box that they sent out and stuff. Yeah. Bunch of cool stuff they sent out in the fan appreciation kit, which is really cool.
Nice.
Put that back.
So what I'm hearing is if we ever get you like a studio set up, we just need like a shelf where you can just like line up all the Power Ranger stuff.
A wall, not a shelf. A wall.
Well, I meant like an
entire. Get those
yeah,
nice
but you won't be
glass
able to...
cases that Fantasy Flight has.
What?
Get those nice glass cases Fantasy Flight has at Gen Con all the time.
Oh yeah.
All right, back in the box. Nice and protected.
So while you were pulling that out, I managed to find over here. I found some of the pictures they were showing on the Facebook group. So one of the things that's showing Villain Pack 4, A Dark Turn, has Ecliptor, Elsa from Dino Thunder, Mesogog, Astronema from space, and then Zeltrax. But I guess this is the comics version, but I don't like the way that Mesogog looks here. It's just too cartoony. Like somebody says over in the chat or over on the side here, I thought Mesogog was a TMNT character for a minute there. That's just wild. All right, let's see. I'm trying to see if I can find some of the other pictures that they posted up in here, because I'm just searching through, because the way Facebook is, you can't see things in order now.
Yeah. Oh God, that is a horrible Mesogog picture.
Yeah, right? Okay, yeah, here's the Rangers Allies Pack 2 that's going to be in this new Kickstarter. Jungle Fury Wolf Ranger, Hyperforce Green, Green Samurai Ranger, Silver Space Ranger, and Titanium Ranger.
Yeah.
So a lot of those like 5th or like 6th, like extra Rangers.
The 6th Rangers, yeah.
Yeah. Well, now we know that they does the Samurai... the Samurai one, is it going to have the Super Samurai mode as well? Did you ever see that one where he touches his waist and like the belt flaps go flying off and spins his helmet around?
That was cool stuff.
All right, let me scroll through here. See, here's another one. Dino Thunder. There's a Dino Thunder pack.
Yep.
Nice.
Because we already have Dino Thunder Tommy.
Yeah. Well, this one has Dino Thunder White, Dino Thunder Blue, Dino Thunder Red, Yellow, and Evil Dino Thunder White. So it's going to have White and Evil White.
Yep.
Nice. Oh, man. And Hoser 40K is in the chat yelling, I'm here, I'm here.
Nice. About time. We're waiting on you, man. Now we can start the show.
All right. Start it over from the top.
There we go.
Start it from the top. Maybe Philip will play the right song this time.
Nope, ain't gonna happen. It will. I changed the hotkey.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So had a couple of since last time threw up a couple of videos on the YouTube channel, because I had never really been much of a solo gamer, but now that I have the Game Topper, I'm kind of just any chance I get to play on it. So I recorded, the exit games, the escape room games. I recorded me playing through it myself and it taking like 2 hours to do so. It was horrible. But I cut it down to like almost an hour. So if you want to see me struggling through that, that's up there. I've also been recording a crap ton of Marvel Champions videos. The first one is up on the channel. It's me playing the Ant-Man deck. But I had all these character decks, and I need to try them out to find out like what they're good at. So the best thing to do is just to run them against that base Rhino scenario. So that's just what I've been doing. So I've done Ant-Man, the Wasp, and Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver so far. And so I've got videos for all of those. I threw, like I said, Ant-Man up. Wasp will go out the same week that this goes out. And I'm already looking at other stuff on the shelf. Like, hey, I could play that solo and record it. I could play that solo and record it. And suddenly I can get through a lot more of these games, instead of forcing like my friends to play them.
There we go. There's Astronema. Yeah.
Yeah.
So at least you'll be in this Kickstarter.
Yeah. I also, where is it? Oh, I also got a new game in the mail. So, Philip, do you have any experience with Vampire the Masquerade?
I am aware that it exists.
Okay, do you know what it is at all?
No.
Okay, so it started off as an RPG. It also became a pretty popular LARP for a while. But so the idea being is like vampires exist are real, and the masquerade is the like number one rule in the vampire world is you leave the existence of vampires a secret and don't, share it with mortals, that kind of thing. So
first rule about vampires is you don't talk about vampires.
Exactly. But especially so there were some hiccups with a couple years ago they launched the 5th edition version of the RPG. 5th edition meaning the 5th version of its RPG, not like D&D 5th edition. So they launched their newest RPG, and then it went through a couple stuff. The company got kind of weird, and then it got bought up by Renegade Games, and they've been doing a lot better job pushing out the content. Well, they've been expanding the lore behind the game into other games. Like there's I want to say there's like a Heritage board game either coming out or it's out already, that it's like a legacy style game where you play as different generations of vampires over the years, kind of. And they just released this. This was a Kickstarter, I think, of last year, and it's starting to get to backers and in stores. This is Vampire the Masquerade Rivals. So it is a expandable card game.
Okay.
So when the sun rises, the undead awaken to slake
their thirst. Yep.
It's a slake their hunger. I've never seen that word
Hunger.
before.
Wow.
They feed upon the herd of unaware mortals right beneath our noses. The kindred clash against their rivals as they vie for control of the city of San Francisco and the coveted title of Prince, because there's like different clans of vampires depending on what kind of vampire you are. This core set includes 4 complete ready-to-play vampire decks featuring different clans. Yeah, so each player assumes the leadership of a coterie of vampires, using them to advance their agendas, claim titles, recruit new vampires, and perform other tasks, possibly risking confrontations by taking to the streets. Complete your agenda or eliminate your rival and claim your rightful place of power over this city. So it's another one of those like 1v1 kind of games. Although this says 2 to 4 players, so maybe you can team up.
Oh, yeah.
Either that or it just means that 2 to 4 players can play with this one box because it's got 4 decks in it.
Right.
Which, that's dumb. If that's the case, that's dumb. It's a 1 to 2 player game. You could just... I mean, I get it. I get it, but it's still dumb. I'm just looking it up on BGG because it'll say like how many players. Oops, I think. Okay, cool. I found. All right, 2 to 4. Oh, it says best 4 players. That's interesting. Usually you don't see that. It says community 2 to 4 players, best 4 players, 30 to 70 minutes playing time. Well, that's very interesting.
Well, we've found a number of games where more bodies equals more better game.
Yeah, but usually, like as a general rule with board games, you tend to see like the box will have a player count, but the community usually doesn't.
Play up to 16 people.
Yeah,
exactly.
3
is enough, guys.
Yeah,
3.
exactly.
Stop it right there.
There's so many games I could list that have like 1 to 6, and it's like you don't play over 4, right? Yeah, like Arkham Horror says, 1 to 6 players. Don't play that with 6 players.
No, do not.
Or it was like Eldritch Horror said it played up to 8, and that was like, you would probably that would be like a 6-7 hour game.
What does it say about Star Trek Ascendancy?
I think it ends up being like, oh, you talk about like what player counts best?
Yeah.
Star Trek. Oh, if I can spell ascendancy. Let's see here. 3 players is what comes out of the box. It says community 3+, best 3+.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, everyone just says more than 3.
Yeah.
So everyone says more than what comes in the box.
Buy the expansions.
Yeah. So other things I've got. So a couple weeks ago, during one of the first in-game. So actually, this was before I had the tabletopper, and I had Corey and Jimmy over because I had been wanting to play this board game that I got in because it looked super cool. I talked about it on the show. I was super excited about it. I finally got it in. I've been really excited to play it, and that is Sea of Legends. So if I can finally get the right key combination to bring it up here. So Sea of Legends, it's basically a 4X pirate game.
Okay.
So you can see here, it's got the box. This is from Guildhall Studios. You can see there's 2 boxes on the picture I show up here. There's a blue one that's your base box, and then the purple's like extra expansion stuff and factions and whatnot. So there's an overall board that's it's got like some coastlines and some islands. I forgot where this is supposed to be. Basically the Caribbean kind of looking thing, and it's marked off into different sections. And everybody gets a ship, or either you use a ship or you use your captain marker to signify you moving around. And when you start off the game, everybody gets a captain, they get a lover, and a nemesis. And the funny part is the way that the lover and nemesis cards work is they're double-sided. So it's just a stack of like 50-something or characters, and you just flip them, either one side's nemesis, one side's lover.
Right, okay.
So in one game, this person might be your lover, but in another game, it might be somebody else's nemesis. And then going along with all this is an app where you put in what everybody has as far as like their lover, their nemesis, and whatnot. And you go out trying to do various things. So the overall point of the game is you want 10 notoriety, and you can get notoriety from various ways: by hiring so many crew members, by completing quests, and various other things, plundering towns and such. But so it could play up to 4, I believe. You can play maybe you could play 5 if you have the purple box as well. But at the same time, there's also a couple of factions on there, so you can't just go completely do your own thing, because there'll be like the Spanish Armadas like sailing around, and you gotta like either avoid them, or it's like, aha, I'm gonna tax you. You gotta pay this coin. Or there'll be like these like Atlantean, like the game we played, there was some Atlantean guards that were trying to kill their king, and the king was trying to seek out favor with the surface world. And if the Atlanteans got to the king and killed him, then everybody at the table lost. And so, but if you went and helped the king, you could get like special items or potentially notoriety that could help you towards end game and whatnot. And it's really cool because a lot of this stuff, and especially the way that the app works with the villains, or the nemesis and the lovers, is really great, because like so there's this like, it would be a huge booklet worth of information, and it just like mixes up these stories around, where it's like, oh, if I go to this part, I can go in the app and start this quest line, and it'll be like you make decisions on it, and like, oh, do you help here or do you not? Okay, now roll a skill check or something. And if you fail, it'll be like, oh, that person got away, and then you move this marker to wherever they went to, and now you know that if you go over there now, then you can continue that storyline, and like at the end of the storyline, you'll get like a bunch of notoriety. Also, the lover and the nemesis cards have like abilities. So like if your nemesis is allowed to do a bunch of stuff, then it'll make things harder for you, like disadvantages for you. And if you advance your lover's storyline, then it'll give you bonuses. So we played it. It was kind of interesting because it's a little random. We couldn't see everything. Like there was a whole lot of cards and like items and stuff that didn't get used because we just didn't interact with that part of the storyline. Like we sat there and we were talking like we kind of just want to keep the same villain, like the same nemesis, the same heroes, and like the same lovers, and just keep playing to see how much the story changes, to see if we would see different pieces, like how much randomability and replayability there was in it. The biggest problem with this game is the rule book is not great. Like there was a lot of fiddling around that I had to do to try and figure out how to play. Like we watched videos and like we spent 30 minutes just trying to figure out how to start moving the NPC characters around. So, but I believe, and I've already talked with the company, and in fact, I may end up helping them some kind of rework. There's already a plan in place to rework the rule book. So hopefully that I can help make that better, because the game is great. Because not only is just like the game, because while we were playing, we just had tons of fun. Like there was just so many like little nods. Like I need to pull up. So do you have the stream pulled up?
I do.
Okay, well let me turn it off me so everybody doesn't see all my photos. And let me scroll through. I'm trying to find a photo in particular.
There we go.
Oh, here it is. All right. Yeah, one of the cards was called Infamous Plank.
Is it Plank from Ed, Edd and Eddy?
It looks like Plank from Ed, Edd and Eddy. And I was like, I don't know if this was intended or not, but that's what I'm assuming it is. Yeah, so this was our game, as you could see. Like these minis look ripe for painting.
Yeah, you have fun with that.
Yeah, there's a lot. I don't know if I'll be tackling anything like that anytime soon, but it makes you want to. And it's got dice, so I love that. Love dice.
Yep.
And the minis are just gorgeous. Just let's see if I can get a good picture of. Trying to find. Oh yeah, like here's just the ships that you could see. It's weird when stuff doesn't fully pop up. Like, BGG just shows white because it didn't load the picture. There it goes. Yeah, so you can see like all the different ships. They're painted in these pictures, but it comes unpainted. But even unpainted, they still look amazing.
Oh yeah. Tortuga.
So I don't know if you can. So because this was it's a small publisher, Guildhall Studios. This is a small publisher, and I don't know. I think it's going to be like you get this at like a convention booth or something. I don't know if you'll be able to get it later on their website. But it is worth bringing up because they are about. I know they're about to launch a Kickstarter for their newest game, which is called like A Noble War or something like that.
Okay.
And they sent me a bunch of like their minis to like paint. They were wanting people to like paint their minis to help to promote the game, and just the detail on some of these is just exquisite. I don't know if I can get them up on the camera close enough that.
Oh, I'm watching the stream. It was about to focus, then you moved.
Okay, kind of focused in there for a minute.
Yeah, it did.
Now I got to get it to focus back on me. Don't worry, I'll edit some of that out for the audio version. There we go. All right, focus back in. There we go. But I'm assuming these have to have been like probably 3D printed or something, because it just I'm imagining the molds will probably look just as intricate, because at least the Sea of Legend ones look that way as well.
Okay.
So whenever that Kickstarter launches, you'll probably see us. It'll probably be in our news section. But it was tons of fun to play. A little frustrating, of the rule book, but it gave me the vibes that I wanted out of when we played Seafall. Like it's not a legacy game, but just that piratey 4X is what they were like advertising with Seafall. Like you can go do different things and just be the kind of pirate you want to be. And I was like, yeah. And then Seafall was like, yeah, but we're only going to give you points if you really do this one thing. And
Yeah.
so now this game is it's a lot more fun. So, let's see. So talked about that. I think we may have, well, maybe all caught up finally.
Think we're there.
We've talked about a lot of gaming stuff. So, I will say that I just did just a note in here for Patreon. If you're patron supporters, then go check Patreon because I just updated a lot of our stretch goals and updated some of our levels. Previously, we had our $10 a month levels be like, hey, we'll play a board game or an RPG with you. But then I got to thinking, I was like, if you're at a con and I'm at a con, then I probably would just play even if you weren't a patron. So, plus we had like one person there that was signed up for the RPG level, and I was like, well, I can't play an RPG with just one person. I mean, I could, but
yeah,
it's not really fair. So instead, I made the $10 a month that if you back at $10 a month for like half a year or whatever, then I'll send you a T-shirt once a year. And then changed up the Patreon so that at $75 a month, we'll do a Patreon exclusive stream where that could be either just like a standalone stream where you can just ask us whatever questions, or even said that probably the more likely thing is we can be playing a couple of games. Either there's like Jackbox stuff we could do that would be fun. I've done a lot of those over the past year, and that can be tons of fun. Or even just I'm spacing out. Roll and writes, because those are really fun to play over like a stream where we could play stuff like Cartographers or Railroad Ink. By the way, did you see the app release for Railroad Ink?
It didn't.
It did. Yeah, it's I'll probably send you a code for it soon. For Google Play.
Okay.
Rebecca's in the chat and says if it's just one person, you got to play Starcross. That is true. That is a good. So the only problem with that is it'd have to be in person because that'd be hard to play. That'd be hard to play over a stream or over a voice call. I'm spacing out here. So
You're drunk. Go home.
You're out. So Phil, did you ever play Dread?
Based on the title, I'm gonna have to say if it was ever brought up, I passed on it.
Okay, so what Dread was a popular game. I'm pretty sure. Okay, no, now I know what it is. Chris and Sandy played it at Gen Con. I don't think we've actually played it in our group, but basically what it is, it's an RPG where instead of doing rolls, you pull bricks off a Jenga tower. Do you remember them talking about this now?
Hang on. Yeah. Well, wasn't there a isn't there a mechanic in there of like the intentional sacrifice? You can knock the tower down.
Right.
We've played that. I don't know if you were there that night.
I didn't play it. No. Okay, so you do remember playing it. So what Starcross is?
Yeah.
So Starcross is that same type of game, but instead it's like sexual tension between or romantic tension between two people. So that's the point of Starcross. I haven't played it, but I heard a lot about it when the designer was doing a lot of playtesting and development of it. So it sounds
is this like a first date game or a second date game?
Well, I don't know. It depends on the person.
Okay.
It might even be a before date game.
Oh, there you go.
So there you go. So if you're interested in any of that, patreon.com/boards and swords. We've got bonus bits is already in the pipeline. It's going to be coming out on tomorrow, I believe, if you're listening to this live. and we're about to hit record on another one since we had like 2 weeks butted back up, back to back on each other. Oh, Philip, one last thing before we go. So, you know how I occasionally get these like itches to try different Games Workshop games?
Okay.
I'm getting that itch again.
And then your wallet comes up and smacks the shit out of you?
Yeah, I know it happens. So I keep seeing, because there's like a whole bunch of channels, because I subscribe to a lot of mini stuff, especially for like painting vids and that sort of thing.
Right.
Everybody's talking about the new Age of Sigmar, Warhammer Age of Sigmar, because there's a new 3rd edition box coming out, Dominion. And it's like a massive $200 box, but it's like $500 worth of miniatures. You know, you get you're getting, like a great value of stuff. But I keep seeing stuff about it, and I had seen in the past, because like I'd seen at our local store, they would do huge narrative play events where it would be like 4-on-4 and like just like a giant long table of like one side versus another play, and that's kind of what I'm wanting in that kind of in that sort of miniatures game. Because like I've played Star Wars Legion, I've tried like 40K Kill Team, which is a lot closer to the kind of game I'm wanting. But like I've tried regular 40K, but the big massive armies doing the one-on-one combat for like 2-3 hours is just not my idea of fun.
Okay, yeah.
And that's why I ended up stopped playing Legion, because it's like I don't want to be like I love Star Wars, but I don't want to be playing Star Wars minis 2 hours versus the same person, and like I'm not, especially me sucking, just like, oh, let's just, my guys and your guys are just kind of running around. I get that for the one-on-one games, I like X-Wing. It's the right length, it's like 60 to 90 minutes, or I get the dog fighting and bing bang boom, you're done. Kill Team's kind of the same way, but not as many people are playing Kill Team right now, at least in our area. Or if they are, I just don't know about it. Of course, I guess not a lot of people are playing a bunch of anything. This past year's just been painting year.
You're not part of the underground Kill Team network.
Yeah, apparently. But I've already started talking with some of the people in our local game store, the people that go there. And especially because they're like, oh, well, if you should try like Warcry, because it's like the fantasy version of Kill Team. And I'm like, yeah, that might be cool, but like the idea just of massive war, where it's not just me and another person, and it's like a team where somebody can be like, oh man, you should really try and do that thing over there. I'm like, oh, that sounds like good. Or let's form like a group strategy here. Like I'll take my guys flanked around this way, and you take your guys flanked around that way, or something, or that style of play. I think I might be a little bit open to, and it wouldn't matter if it was 3-4 hours, because it's more of a social thing and not just me staring down the one other person and looking at like, well, I want to win and you want to win. So there's really not, we're not saying a whole lot because we don't want to leak our secret strategies.
Yeah, I was just thinking, what restaurant do you think the underground Kill Team arena would be under? Because it can't be the Panda Express, because that's the underground magic tournaments.
Oh man, Subway. I don't know.
Dairy Queen.
Dairy Queen.
It's under the Dairy Queens.
What's the key phrase you have to say to get into the underground Kill Team League?
I only play My Little Pony Island Adventure.
Oh, that reminds me of the other thing is because I've been playing so much WoW and just on the big fantasy kick, I got to thinking, I was like, oh, well, if I do like Age of Sigmar, I could build like terrain for like a town and make it look like Azeroth. Like Stormwind, or the with the blue top tower, or the blue top villages and inns. Like that would be super cool. So
I could see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I definitely sent an email to. I found the Game Workshop press email. I was just like, hey, by the way, I happen to have a podcast, and if is it still possible to get a Dominion box for a review copy? because I just bought a huge game topper. I don't have $200 to shell out for a whole army.
I'm just looking at so I went back to the page for the Heroes of the Grid Kickstarter, and just like you're going through all of it, and it's like, yeah, these are the 4 things that are going to be inside this. So it's like we're looking at 4 different boxes of stuff. I'm like, oh, how much ramen? How long am I going to live off ramen for to buy this thing now?
See, this is the downside of having one of the owners of your local game store in your chat, because they're just now.
She's now, yeah. I just saw that. Like, hey, we got the box.
We got the box. You want to try it? You want to try it out? I thought I was an enabler.
We got the.
Now I know how Randy feels. Because that's the long time he would tell me like how much of an enabler I was for different gaming things. Hey Philip, we could go halvesies on it, and you can get the one army, and I can get the other, because they play on Monday nights, so you could.
Oh, hey, yeah.
I'm trying to get a good. I went backwards. I hit all the different sprues.
Hit the what?
All the sprue. I was looking at the pictures to try and get a good shot of all the different minis. Oh, there we go.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And I clicked the wrong way and got all the sprues instead. See, this is the thing. Like, I've always been wanting to try different Games Workshop things because their minis are just gorgeous.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've known that from the stuff I still haven't finished building.
Yeah.
Yeah,
your kill team stuff.
Oh, yeah, all my kill team stuff. Because, like, there was so much and if I've talked about it, I'm going to talk about it again. Yeah. Whatever. They're so intricately built, because like the stuff underneath the backpacks. Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, they put all this work into this spot that I'm gonna cover up with something else.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's why a lot of people when they build these, they'll actually paint them on the sprue and then assemble them, because it's like trying to get your hand up and around to like paint right under that butt crack or something.
Oh yeah, you got to get like a brush that only has like 2 hairs on it, so you can squeeze it in there to
paint. Exactly. So that's why some people paint it on the sprues and then just click it or cut it out and then assemble it and then just kind of like touch up.
Okay, yeah. We should do like other Chris was talking about, and just put mini magnets in everything.
I mean,
and then it all sticks together.
I mean, the store has, our local store has magnets. They sell like.
I love New Jedi.
It says can't miss that. Yeah, they have. They sell. Our local store, High Tide. They sell the little tiny magnets that you can use for like people do that. They'll drill in, so that like I want to use, because there are some people that are that hardcore with this. Where it's like,
yeah.
If it doesn't have the flamethrower on, I can't use the flamethrower stat.
Yep.
Like, so it's like I snap off the arm and put the other, the flamethrower arm on. I just have a bin over in there that's just anytime I build their various minis, because like I have a bunch of the Blood Bowl stuff. Anytime I build stuff of like that, I keep all the sprue options that I don't use and just shove them in a box.
Oh yeah, the 12 different faces.
Yeah,
the 6
exactly.
Different elements. Yeah.
You create, because there is a segment of that. I knew somebody on Twitter. Peter's been on the show before, but he would that was one of the things he liked to do, was like make the little hobgoblin monsters that you do by like Frankenstein monsters, of like assembling all those oddball pieces together.
Oh, nice.
So, man, it's late already. I think it's time we roll that beautiful beam footage.
And that has been our show, everybody. We want to thank everybody who is hanging out with us in the chat. If you like this show, check us out on boardsandswords.com/live. It's got the schedule and the links to all the live streaming channels. Live streaming channels too. Sometimes we get a little excited about it. Exactly. I mean, we love what we do, and we get excited, and we do it all for you. And then also just check out boardsandswords.com, no nothing, and that'll have links to the other random stuff that we've been doing. It's got Chris's videos, it's got the old live play stuff that we did and we might get back into.
Everything we've done over the past 10 years is on that website.
That's right. Even some slightly baby-faced and non-bearded versions of us. It's very scary.
All right, you can email us comments and questions, feedback at boardsandswords.com. We're on social media, facebook.com/boardsandswordspod is our Facebook page. I'm at Boards and Swords on Twitter, Boards and Swords Chris on Instagram. If you search Boards and Swords, you will either get me or you'll get some store in the UK. I compete with them on like every social platform for the name Boards and Swords. You think I'm joking, but I'm not.
I don't not believe you.
But I had it first. I just didn't have it first on Facebook.
I seen it first.
Yeah.
You can find me on Twitter if I ever decide to post anything at Filled the Dirtbag.
This podcast is also part of Punchboard Media. If you think we're cool, we're only faking it to be a part of the other cool kids club, which is Punchboard Media. There's a bunch of other gaming podcasts. Check out punchboardmedia.com. Thank you for listening. Once again, patreon.com/boardsandswords. See, I got it there. To help support the show. We'll be back 2 weeks this next time. We're back on schedule with another show. In the meantime, remember that every gamer has a story. And Philip says he'll be live streaming on Tuesday when the new Power Rangers Kickstarter goes live. Either that or your wallet.
I'll be being attacked by my wallet is what happens.
He'll be live streaming from his wallet attacking him.
That's our show. Good night, everybody.
All right. Thanks, everybody in the chat room. That was great. Love it. So we'll see you next time.